נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Be happy and succeed in your life. Be content with your share and devoted in prayer. Show faith when there is doubt. Shalom when hate is all about. Spread shalom openly. Shower blessings on everyone you see. Let us live by these beliefs. Let us live by these beliefs. To save you live by these beliefs. You'll feel God's blessing within. If you wanna be happy and succeed in your life, spread your hand to your friends when they ask you for help. Be the spark that brings light. Step up and just make things right. Fix the world through your deeds and strive for justice. That is all you need. Let us live by these beliefs. Let us live by these beliefs. We say if you live by these beliefs, you'll feel God's blessing within. So sad, everybody. שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. שלושה דברים העולם אומר, על שלושה דברים העולם אומר, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. אני שמח, אני מוכן, אני יודע שזה בזמן, אני בוטח, אני מרגיש שאתה שומע תפילת ליבי. And if you just follow these things, you'll find God's presence within. לכד אותי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה, לכד אותי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, תשמו לתפארת ולי תהילה. לכד אותי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה, לכד אותי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה לראש מכן ונשוכה. סוף מעשה בבקשה בתפילה, לכד אותי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. לוחם וזני עם סגולה, בואי הלה, בואי הלה. When I wake up in the morning, as I thank God and I pray, I open my arms and say, what a beautiful day. So each day you watch my footsteps, every time I might run, making sure I don't fall, so that I stand up strong. I tell myself regardless of my mood, the face of the city beats for the good. My soul is full of awe and gratitude, cause you're always there for me. Thank you, God, for the manna for your creation. Thank you, God, for the manna for your care. Thank you, God, cause you're my guide and source of inspiration. For the manna for my share. When I wake up in the morning, I thank the one above for this wonderful life, for this world filled with love. I am grateful for my family, I am grateful for my friends, and for your loving grace that never ever ends. I try to do the best that I can do, embrace life with a joyful attitude. My soul is full of faith and gratitude, cause you've done so much for me. Thank you, God, for the manna for your creation. Thank you, God, for the manna for your care. Thank you, God, cause you're my guide and source of inspiration. For the manna for my share.
Shabbat Shalom. Ki Yeshmera Shabbat El Yishmereni. Just as I keep Shabbat, Shabbat will keep me. And after a busy week, I don't know about for anybody else, but after a busy week for me, it is great to be able to take a collective deep breath and be ready for the peace and the quiet of Shabbat, except we've got a very busy Shabbat and weekend, so but it is nice to be able to gather and nice to be able to celebrate together. We begin with a Shabbat Zmira, one of our Shabbat songs. We welcome the Shabbat angels that will accompany us from our homes to synagogue, from our synagogues back home and throughout Shabbat. Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Bimelech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 127. Yes, I know we're going backwards. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world is our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Page 134.
Sameru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, bekol zimra, b'chatzotzot, bekol shofar. Ariyu lifnei hamelech Adonai, Samru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor, bekol zimra, b'chatzotzot, bekol shofar. Ariyu lifnei hamelech Adonai, Iram hayamum lo, Vel veyoshvei ba, neharot imcha ugav yachal harim yeradenu, lifnei Adonai ki ba, lishpot haaretz, lishpot tevel b'tzedek. Vehamim b'meisharim, Iram hayamum lo, Tevel veyoshvei ba, Neharot imcha uchav yachal, harim yeradenu.
Middle of page 137. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai, the sovereign of time, bestows strength upon our people. Bestow our people with peace.
Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo.
Shabbat as a bride, Lecha Dodi, page 138.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה.
Lecha, Ishmi Anu El HaMeyuchad, Adonai Echad, Ushemo Echad, L'Shem Utiferet Belit Chila La 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 Lecha Dodi,
לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור אברה, בראש מקדם נסוכה, זו מעשה ומחשבה תחילה, lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva ore kumi uri shir dabeli, kevod Adonai alayich lecha dodi,
לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה.
We rise, we turn to the door, we welcome the Shabbat bride.
בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת לקבלה. 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 Page 141, Psalm 93. Adonai malach Yehud labesh Adonai ozit asar Avtikot tebe baltimot Avtikot tebel baltimot nachot kisaha be'az be'olam atah naseu ne'arot Adonai naseu ne'arot kolam yiseu ne'arot ochya bikolot mayim rabim adirim mishberiyam adir bamarom Adonai adir bamarom Adonai edot emdu me'od beidechana bakodesh Adonai be'orech yamim Adonai be'orech yamim mikolot Adire Bamaron Adonai.
Tomorrow morning, Shayna Steiger will... Oh, right. Yeah, don't worry. Tomorrow afternoon.
We got it right.
I'll be there. I promise you, I will be there. I'm just so used to saying tomorrow afternoon, sometime tomorrow, Shayna Steiger will celebrate becoming a bat mitzvah, and we are going to invite her and her mother, Deborah Albo Steiger, who celebrated becoming a bat mitzvah on this very bima herself, to come up and light our Shabbat candles. Shabbat. Amen.
Please rise for Baruch Hu on page 146.
Page 148.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Titzavot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continuously over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch atah Adonai amari baravim.
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated and join me in the chanting of Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha ub'chol nafshecha ub'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzvacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha ובתך בדרך, ובשופך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, ובטחתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohim, Amen. Page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Mi chambocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chambocha devar bakonde, mi chambocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chambocha devar bakonde. Ora song of joy, who is like you, Adonai? כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. ונאמר גבעת יעקב, ילד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני קהל ישראל. Then there be love and understanding among us. There be some friendship, we are shelter from life's storm. Page 161. Then there be love and understanding among us. There be some friendship, we are shelter from life's storm. Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu, Ashkiveinu Shalom, Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu, Ashkiveinu Shalom, Ve'amideinu Shomreinu Lechaim, Ufros Aleinu Sukat Shomecha, Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu, Ashkiveinu Leshalom, Ashkiveinu love and understanding among us. Ashkiveinu peace and friendship, we are shelter from life's storm. Ashkiveinu love and understanding among us. Ashkiveinu peace and friendship, we are shelter from life's storm. Then there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat in every generation as a covenant for all time. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days the eternal God made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from labor and rested.
Meshameru enei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'tortam berit olam ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי שבי עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום אשר היא שבת ההיא נפל.
rise for Amidah, page 164.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid et hiratecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor VeHaNorah El Elyon Omer Chasadim Tovim Bekoneh HaKol Vezocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imaot U'mevii Geula libnei Bneicha למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרא שרה אתה גיבור עולם אדוני מחיה כל אתה רב להושיע מוריד מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו משני עפר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך מלך ממיט ומחייך ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל אתה קדוש בשמך קדוש קדושים בכל יום יללוך הסלע ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Praise be Adonai for Shabbat and its holiness.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion.
Baruch atah Adonai המחסיר שכינתו לציון אנחנו לך.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving.
Baruch atah Adonai טוב שמך ולך נלך טוב שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם 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 כי אתה מלך הדור לכל השלום כי אתה מלך הדור לכל השלום שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם בטוב עיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם תשים לעולם תשים לעולם
Before we take a moment for silent personal prayer, we think about our friends and neighbors, members of our community who are in need of a blessing of healing. On this Shabbat, we are especially thinking about Osvaldo Barraza, Margot Brilliant, Rick Center, Sherry Center, Elliot Citron, Howard Citron, Raquel Cohen, Etta Rachel, Bat Malka Zissel, Dale Friedman, Susan Friedman, Rita Gold, David Eisenberg, Ed Johns, Mindy Elizabeth Jones, Susan Jones, Alice Klein, Leah Tova Bar, Jack Lieb, Shammai Ben Michael, Leslie Piken, Elka Rock, Jamie Reichbach, Shaul Ben Moshe Verivka, Mark Rockfeld, Carol Sheckman, Shoshana Devora Bat Chava, Mark Byron Singer, Aryeh Tzvi Ben Sara, Kevin Webb, Yonatan Ben Feivel. And as I will talk about in just a few moments, right after silent prayer, we will experience Yom. We're in kind of the holidays of Israeli civil religion between Yom HaShoah, which we experienced this week, to Yom HaZikaron, the holiday of Israel's Memorial Day, and then followed directly afterwards with Yom HaAtzmaut. So we decided to just do a slightly different Mishaberach, still Mishaberach nonetheless, not only for those who are in need of healing, but Mishaberach L'Chayalim, a Mishaberach for all of our Israeli soldiers and those who defend peace and democracy throughout the world.
שברך אבותינו, אבותינו הקדושים, הקדושים, הוא יברך חיילי ישראל, את חיילי ישראל. מי שברך אמותינו, אמותינו הקדושות, הקדושות, הוא יברך חיילי ישראל, חיילי ישראל. אדוני, אדוני ישמור, ישמור ויציל, ויציל אתכם. אדוני, אדוני ישמור, ישמור ויציל, ויציל אתכם, את חיילינו.
Take a moment for the silent meditation. עושה שלום עם ברומבה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום עם ברומבה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום עם ברומבה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו מעל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל יושבי תבל. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום
almost as soon as the intensity of Pesach, of Passover, ends, Israelis enter another cycle of holidays that might be referred to as the high holy days of Israel's civic religion, beginning, as I mentioned, with Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, followed exactly a week later with Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Memorial Day, and culminating the next day with Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day. As my teachers, Rabbi Daniel Hartman and Tal Becker, discussed this past week, this cycle reflects the historical experience of the Jewish people over the past century. The structure of these three holidays is also understandable, as the movement from the tragedy of the Holocaust to the birth of the State of Israel to the ongoing sacrifice that Israel's citizens must make is meant to build a shared narrative and create a national ethos. And yet, while these days are meant to unite Israelis around a proud shared story, they also highlight divisions in Israel's societies. Arab Israelis and Haredim don't generally participate in the commemorations, excluding over 1/4 of the country's population. Even more so, we ourselves have to ask the question, what should these mean to us as American Jews? Yes, Yom HaShoah resonates with us, but I think about how our engagement with the Holocaust in Israel has certainly changed since my childhood. As a child, the Holocaust and Israel was about the perpetual existential fear of potential annihilation. We were either victims of Nazi brutality or of Arab countries that sought to destroy us. Nowadays, as my colleague Rabbi Josh Weinberg wrote, our children are growing up far enough removed from the Shoah that they only know about it from history, and with an Israel that appears to them more as Goliath rather than David. While one generation idolized Paul Newman as Ari Ben Canaan in the movie adaptation of Leon Uris's Exodus, this younger generation looks to the quagmire entanglement that Ari Issacharoff and Lior Raz portray in the Netflix show Fauda. This Shabbat, between Yom HaShoah and Yom HaAtzmaut, has been designated as a special Shabbat, coined Shabbat Tekumah, the Shabbat of revival. This revival represents the dramatic turn from the tragedy of the Holocaust to the realization of the dream of a Jewish state echoing the ancient paradigm of disaster to renewal. If you've never been to Israel for Yom HaAtzmaut, let me tell you, it can get a bit crazy. Think New Year's Eve in Times Square with less people and more teens running around spraying silly string and shaving cream. It is pure celebration with abandon. And there's nothing wrong with it because it comes on the heels of a national day of introspection. When a siren sounds, people stop and stand outside of their cars and reflect on those who have given their lives to ensure the safety of the country. Israeli Reform Rabbi Moti Rotem suggests that these 7 days between Yom HaShoah and Yom HaAtzmaut be juxtaposed with the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, thus serving similar purpose to the Yamim Noraim, that we call Shivat Yamei Teudah, 7 days of bearing witness. He explains, during the 7 days of bearing witness, the nation of Israel needs to, as a community, examine themselves, check from year to year how much they are succeeding in fulfilling the destiny that has fallen on to them. Their mission, the legacy of the death of the Holocaust, the legacy of life of Independence Day, in which the nation of Israel engages in introspection and self-reflection about how they are measuring up to this destiny that stands before them. This destiny to build the future of the nation of Israel. These 7 days of bearing witness need to apply both to the individual and especially to society and its institutions. This week is our opportunity to reflect on a collective and national level undergoing a collective cheshbon hanefesh. But I think about if Israel as a nation needs to do cheshbon hanefesh, how much the more so do I think the same could be said of us as Americans and as Jews? What is our relationship to these holidays? We should see them as almost equally to our holidays. Think about our own American Independence Day, July 4th. What do we think about when it comes to July 4th? Hamburgers and hot dogs and fireworks. This is where we fall short. We don't use the 4th of July to renew our covenant with the United States of America, even though in Hebrew, what's America called in Hebrew? Artsot Habrit, okay? Lands of the covenant. Okay? Do we see ourselves in covenantal relationship with our nation? Who are we as a nation? Where have we as a nation fallen short? At the same time, during these days, we should think about our relationship as Jews, American Jews, to the land and the state of Israel. Last week we read the Song of Songs, or our tradition was that we were supposed to read the Song of Songs. What is the Song of Songs? It's erotic poetry. Okay? It's a romance novel. The whole book is about a woman pursuing her lover, but by the end of the book, they never consummate the relationship. Maybe Song of Songs would be better placed as a scriptural reading for Jews at this point. The drama of the book, Pursuit Without Fulfillment, speaks to our relationship with Israel. Our dreams of connecting are not fulfilled, which, by the way, is why, despite my frustrations, I still keep going and expressing my love for the land. We've got a lot to think about. A lot to think about our relationship with our own nation and what our own nation has to still achieve. Okay? What our relationship is with the land and state of Israel. We have to think about what the state of Israel, even as non-citizens, what we can do to help it fulfill its promise. There was a competition in the early part of the country for the Israeli national anthem. We all know what the Israeli national anthem is. Hatikva. Right? And what is Hatikva? The hope. Okay? Of course, ultimately, Hatikva becomes the national anthem. But what was the runner-up? Okay? The runner-up was a poem by Chernyakhovsky called Laugh at All My Dreams. I want us to think about that. Okay? It was a competition between laughter versus hope, and hope prevailed. I think that's the way it should be. But that doesn't mean that the dreams and aspirations and the joy of Israel as a country and the joy that we experience as a Jewish people are not important.
רשרוש של המים ורק השמיים תפילת האדם החול והים רשרוש של המים ורק השמיים תפילת האדם Eli, I pray that these things never end the sand and the sea the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sun and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
That was, for those of you who don't know, that was a poem that was written by Hanna Senes, a Hungarian Jew who died in the Holocaust. And the setting, cantor setting was done by Naomi Shemer. I think it was. I think it was done by. It's such a beautiful confluence of the Holocaust and Israel. We thought we would share that with you. We are in the period of the Omer, the period between Pesach and Shavuot. We continue to count upwards towards receiving Torah. So if you would like to follow along, page 570, we continue with Sfirat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer.
Hineni mochan umzuman, hineni mochan umzuman, hineni mochan umzuman, lekayem mitzvat hazeh. Hineni mochan umzuman, hineni mochan umzuman, hineni mochan umzuman, לקיים מצוות עשה של ספירת העומר.
Behold, we are ready to fulfill the mitzvah of the counting of the Omer.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer.
היום 14 יום שהם שני שבועות לעומר.
Today is the 14th day, which is 2 weeks of the Omer. We continue. We invite the congregation to rise as the ark is open for Aleinu, page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא עשה בנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם בגורל היינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
At this point, we remember those who are no longer with us. Remember R.A. Gavarian and David Blair, who have died over the past 30 days, for whom we are observing Shloshim. And we remember these, the yortzites of our congregant loved ones we have commemorated over the past week. Leon Pipo Behar, Segismundo Behrman, Raphael Batan, Jeffrey Cohen, Ronald Cohn, Isidore Drucker, Evelyn Eleanor Dubin, Esther Eisenberg, Jay Elgart, Lillian Feingloss, Saul Fox, Max Friedman, Bertha Hertz, Rebecca Wells Linville, Frank Pearl, Marilyn Seskin, Robert Sherman, Ruth Studinsky, Moishe Tuninskaya, and Irene P. Weinberg. We also remember those who are listed below, who are remembered on our permanent memorial plaques here in the sanctuary. We invite the congregation to please rise for Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach rutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'galal v'zman kari v'imru. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mavarach le'elam olomei homaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudashah b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Yehei shlama rabbah min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Oseh shalom b'mromah, huyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. Together we say, Amen. You may be seated. Once again, want to wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom. Say thank you to, I'm going to say thank you to Renee Yeslo, who jumped in and helped be our greeter. Thank you. But also say thank you to all of our service sponsors, starting with Deborah Albo Steiger and Ron Steiger, in honor of their daughter Shana becoming a bat mitzvah tomorrow afternoon. Walter and Liliana Angel in memory of Ruth Studinsky, Dr. Melvin and Terry Drucker in memory of Isidore Drucker, the Finch and the Fresco families, nice to see you, in memory of Leon Behar, Stuart Israelson in memory of Lillian Feingloss, Mark and Galena Rockfeld in memory of Moishe Tuninskaya, and Rosalind Silverman in memory of Evelyn Eleanor Dubin. We have a few things going on. Just a reminder that the work of the synagogue does not fall on staff alone. We thrive at our best when we have volunteers. And so if you're able to give a couple of hours or you're able to give more, it would be helpful. We have plenty of things for you to do. If you let us know, we will find something for you to do, and we will express our deepest gratitude for that. On to more exciting things. Next Thursday, along with being Cinco de Mayo, is a night when our Temple Sinai community is just going to be gathering for fun. We are going to be at the Taco Box in Aventura, and we're just gathering at 6 o'clock, meet some new people, reconnect with some long-standing friends, and have a nice night out, half-price drinks, I think. Everybody pay your own way, except you got to throw in an $18 contribution to join the fiesta. So we hope you will do that. Just a couple of days later, or 10 days later, I'm going to be doing a brunch and learn with our empty nesters on anti-Semitism and where its origins, and also what we are to do with anti-Semitism today. The ADL just published its latest statistics, which are disheartening, and we're going to talk about that. I think if you want to continue to support the Jews of Ukraine, we hope that you will do that either through the World Union for Progressive Judaism or through jewishmiami.org, which is Federation. Yes. Oh, the Spring Music Festival. No, we're not going to, the question was whether we're going to skip the Spring Music Festival. No, but our artist who got sick a few days before, we've rescheduled her in the fall. So it'll be in September. It won't be a spring music festival, but it will be a music festival, and it will not, we'll have one in the fall. We've held on to the sponsorship of that, and there'll be one in the spring. So not to worry. We don't want to miss either the event or the chance to acknowledge and honor our cantor emeritus. Good. Thanks for asking. We are going to. You want to tee us up for what we're going to do, Cantor?
Especially during this time, this Yamim of Israel, and as as it would happen in the world, but also in Israel, we always think about peace, and this is a song that reflects on that. It says, Ve'ata Shalom, talking about that we are a source of peace. We can bring peace to the world. Ve'ata Shalom, uveitecha Shalom, ve'kol ha'sharecha Shalom, ve'ata Shalom, uveitecha Shalom, ve'kol ha'sharecha Shalom. Adonai, Adonai, oz le'amu yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom, ve'ata shalom, uveitecha shalom, ve'kol ha'sharecha shalom, ve'ata shalom, uveitecha shalom, ve'kol שלך שלום וכל עם שלך
At this point, we're going to invite Shayna and her dad, Ron, to come and join us on the bima to help us with Kiddush and Motzi. I'm going to give him the cup. Invite the congregation to rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'asa banu v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava u'b'ratzon hilchatanu. Baruch zikro l'maaseh b'reishit ki hu yom techila l'michei chodesh zecher l'yetziat Mitzrayim ki banu b'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kadshecha b'ahava u'b'ratzon hilchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.